In this tutorial, I talk you through how I'm drawing Monty the Cocker Spaniel. So I like to start with the eyes because they give you a bit of a grounding for the rest of the face. So it's something to work out from. And you can already start to see some of that life and some of that personality. So this is drawn on a sheet of pastel mat board, which is 15 by 21 centimeters. It's quite small. And so a lot of this tutorial is talking about how to work on that smaller scale and how to get those details in to still make it look lifelike when you are working a lot smaller. There are different sorts of techniques for creating that illusion of detail when you can't get so much detail in. So what I'm doing here is I'm just mapping in where I can see color changes. Monty is lots of different colors, and so there were lots of different elements to get into this very, very small portrait. So I'm just mapping in the base layers with the Unison Soft Pastels, mostly the Natural Earth collection, and I'm just rubbing those in with a cotton wool bud just to give me a nice layer to work on top of with the pastel pencils. And I'm starting to go in with the pastel pencils as well and just keep working in some of those base layers, just get a tiny bit more detail into them, work from. Just popping in the base layers on the nose. As you'll see, this nose is quite sort of purple in tone, which you might not expect just from looking at the dog. Just mapping in the base layers of that ear because I want to be able to work the mouth over the top of it. So I need to have that ear in the background to be able to pop that in. And then popping in the details on the nose. Again, this is lots of purples, lots of sort of greys and whites, and some browns as well. So there's lots of different colours and elements in there. And again, it's about creating that illusion of detail rather than being able to get in complete details. So I'm just popping in some of the details on the ear. Again, you can't get too much in, so it's very much looking at the tonal values. Look at your lights, look at your darks. If you were to put this into black and white, would it still look realistic? Have you created that sort of contrast where it's going to look three-dimensional and have depth? So I'm just working in from a bit of light to dark and dark to light on this one, really going a bit back and forth. It's kind of a collage of different colours in there. And so I'm creating the shape of the face with the direction of the pencil strokes to create the hairs on the face, while also building up that light, that dark, and building up all those lovely contrasts to make that sort of depth as Monty's face starts to come in the page. So I'm just building up one color at a time, just getting in that direction that those fur hairs need to go in. So they're following the direction of the hair on the face and just gradually building that face up. I wanted to get in the area around the mouth first, so I'm doing that sort of area around the mouth and the nose, and then I will gradually start to work up the face. But I was trying to break this down into sections so it was easier to follow and to see what exactly is going on. So just getting in all of those little hairs to try and create that illusion of detail. When you're working on this size, it is very much about that illusion of detail rather than being able to get in really, really strong details. So I'm just popping in the base layers around the eye. It was difficult to use the soft pastel sticks on this size, but I really like to use them to get that real depth of color. They are much more vibrant and much deeper than if you just use pastel pencils alone. So I did want to get an element of that in where I could. And then just popping in some of the base layers there around the curls at the top of the head, just to get those shadows in so I can see where they are. Just mapping in with pencils now over the top of the Unison pastel sticks, just going over the top with the pastel pencils to get in the direction of the hairs going around the eye, and those bits that are sort of overlapping from the mouth area into that eye area, because those crossovers of hairs are what's going to help create that realism and that depth and start to bring all of this together and make it look like you're looking at an actual dog. So I'm just getting in those areas around the eye as well. Again, you have those sort of overlapping hairs where it's going into that sort of burnt orange, umber sort of color. You need to get those bits that cross over so it looks like those two elements are working together rather than they're just separate stickers. So I'm just popping in the curls at the top of the head now. Again, this is very much all about tonal values. So it's breaking it down so you can see your lights and your darks. You work on the bits which are at the back first, and then you move forward to the front to the bits that the viewer can see most prominently at the front of the picture, and then you put those in last. So they're the bits which will normally have the sort of the brighter highlights on them, and they will overlap over the top of the other pencil strokes. So I really hope this has been helpful. I hope it's given you an insight into what we cover in the real tutorial. If you'd like to follow along in real time, then please do have a look at my Patreon channel. The real-time tutorial for this one is about 2.5 hours, and I talk through everything I'm doing from start to finish and provide all the reference materials. So please do hit subscribe if this was helpful. I'll head over to Patreon and I will see you for part 2 of this tutorial next week. Thanks very much, guys. Take care. Bye.